Hello everybody and welcome to another video on the Pole Position YouTube channel. In this video we are going to be talking about Red Bull and Max Verstappen and his new teammate for the season, Sergio Perez, and if they can really challenge Mercedes for really the championship for this season. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. So yes, ultimately, can Red Bull this season truly challenge Mercedes for that Constructors' Championship and even the Drivers' Championship? I think this season is Red Bull's best driver lineup for a long time, since they had Max Verstappen and Daniel Ricciardo as teammates. Sergio Perez is going to be a very good asset to the team. We've already seen photos of him there. We've already seen him getting his driver or his seat fitting, should I say. So it's all been positive. Yeah, it just looks. I just think it will be a strong driver lineup for this season, one of the strongest on the grid. I think we obviously know Red Bull's past of obviously having the likes of the younger driver program in there with Pierre Gasly and Alex Albon. That hasn't worked recently for Red Bull, so they've obviously decided to bring somebody in to the actual team for this season. And obviously we know how strong Sergio Perez is and how well he's going to be as a driver, and obviously we know his time management. He's a race winner now after the Sakir Grand Prix last season, so there's a lot of momentum for Sergio Perez and actually for Red Bull as well. Obviously they won last year's Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, thanks to Max Verstappen, and they obviously won a couple of races. They won the 70th anniversary Grand Prix as well, which was the fifth race of the year. So look, they've got momentum this year. They know they've got a good car. It's obviously Honda's last year as well as their actual main constructor. Red Bull are obviously taking over the engines. We knew that was sort of a formality, that's what Red Bull were looking at. I haven't done a video about it because we sort of knew it was coming. They weren't going to be working with Renault, and it was very doubtful that they were going to be supplied engines by Ferrari. So it was only a matter of time before they worked out some way of doing the engines themselves. So obviously they've got Red Bull Powertrain Limited. They've made it their own company to actually have the engines from Honda at the end of this year. But Honda have actually got a strong power unit now. We think of the days of when they first came back with McLaren, and it was like a canal boat. The noise was horrendous, and there wasn't much power in it either. But they've really come on great strides in the last few years with Red Bull as the actual team that they've been working with, and AlphaTauri as well. And we've obviously seen Pierre Gasly win for AlphaTauri. He had a podium a few seasons ago at Brazil as well. And then obviously Max Verstappen's been getting wins in that car. Alex Albon got on the podium last year as well. So that Honda power unit with that chassis has been working really well. So they're coming off momentum, as well as obviously Sergio Perez at the end of the season as well. So I think that, and obviously Max Verstappen, really can hopefully gel together and really create hopefully a fight between the Mercedes this year. Obviously we don't know, because the cost caps come in this season. We don't know how much of effect that's going to have on Mercedes. I doubt that much, but whether it'll help Red Bull get that little bit closer to them, who knows. I think ultimately it is going to be down to they're obviously starting from scratch again, new season. We'll see what it's like with testing, and just see where they're going to be after the long weekend in Bahrain, and obviously the first race of the season is in Bahrain as well. So yeah, it will have to wait and see what it actually happens in that test. Like I said, and like I've been saying for a few weeks, we don't really get the full performance from them winter testings usually, because a lot of people hold back or sandbag in terms of don't show their true potential until basically qualifying on the first race weekend of the season. So that's when we'll truly see how close Sergio Perez is to Max Verstappen and how close Red Bull are to Mercedes. I'm hoping close, and then again I'm hoping that the middle teams of Alpine, McLaren, and I was going to say Racing Point, but Aston Martin for this year as well. We don't know where Ferrari are going to be, so again that's going to be interesting where they are, but I'm hoping Red Bull are even closer this year to Mercedes. I made the point in a Sergio Perez video a couple of weeks ago, just in the sense that now they've brought in a top caliber driver in Perez they've actually got another way of fighting against Mercedes, and that's using strategy to their advantage as well. Obviously, we've known that Alex Albon and Pierre Gasly were sort of struggling. They qualified poorly, and then they'd have to regain them positions in the race, whereas hopefully with Sergio Perez and Verstappen, they're going to be able to qualify higher up the grid, which is then going to cause a bit of a pain for the strategists at Mercedes as to when and how they're going to pit their drivers correctly to make sure Red Bull don't jump them in the pits. I think that's going to be vitally important for this season for Red Bull to try and utilise that as much as possible. And obviously a lot of components for this season are going to be similar to what they had last year. There's not many that change. I think aerodynamic wise, they're trying to do less for this season. So obviously I think there's going to be a bit of that, but the gearboxes are going to be relatively the same. Little changes, obviously tweaks to the engines to try and make them even better for this year. But a lot of the components to save costs during the last year and in the pandemic, and obviously the cost cap as well, a lot of the components for this year are going to be the same to last season. And then obviously we're going to have that major change in 2022. And then obviously going on drivers, going back to them just quickly, I think both of them are sort of Sergio Perez is certainly in the prime of his life now. He is probably the right time to be at a top team again. Myself and obviously Jamie Davis, who is a Sergio Perez fan, he knows how much of a disappointing time it was at McLaren for that one season. And we both said, is there ever going to be that chance of him racing in a top team again? Jamie was always ever hopeful. I wasn't so sure, but I'm glad to see that he is getting that opportunity to fight in the top teams, to see if he can really fight alongside Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen consistently. We saw him try and do that at Racing Point last year, but obviously with the Red Bull fighting alongside his teammate Verstappen this year, that's going to be interesting indeed. Like I said, he is amazing on tyre management, so I think he's really going to help Red Bull for this season. And obviously, like I said, I've said recently, there might be some confrontation in that Red Bull garage, which we haven't seen for the last few years, because it has been basically Team Verstappen for Red Bull over the last couple of seasons. So it will be interesting to see if Sergio Perez starts the season better, where Red Bull sort of put their allegiances at the end of the season. But yeah, that's quickly just a video on Red Bull. I do think they'll probably challenge Mercedes a lot more consistent than they did last year. Like I said, they did get a couple of wins last year, but not as much as maybe us fans would have liked. I do think they'll be a lot closer to Mercedes this time around, and I think that Sergio Perez as a signing for Red Bull is absolutely key to try and fight in the Drivers' Championship as well as the Constructors' Championship. Let me know in the comments below. Obviously, do you think Sergio Perez is a great signing for Red Bull? I think the majority of people are going to say yes, he was. And do you think Red Bull are going to fight and be more consistent alongside Mercedes for this season? Like I said, personally, I think they will, and I think it will be actually a lot closer between Red Bull and Mercedes than what we're actually thinking. But like I said, we'll only know that once the first race weekend at Bahrain takes place. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, it really does mean a lot, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care, see you soon.